Nights. We are your hosts, Colleen.
And I'm Marjorie. For tonight's episode, we have USA Today best-selling author, best known for her gripping new adult sports romance and bully romance novels, author Jennifer Sucevic. Her novels.
You did it!
Her novels have been translated into German, Dutch, Italian, French, Portuguese, Hebrew, and have recently expanded into audiobooks. Welcome to the Unfiltered Romance Nights podcast, and we are so excited to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, first things first, congratulations on your newest release, Make Me Yours, which is book one of the Chicago Railers series.
Yes. Yes. It's my first adult hockey romance. I've mostly done new adult, so it was after 10 years. It's been really nice to kind of venture into new territory and new tropes. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. It was really good. I'll never look at a cigar the same again.
As I was writing that, I'm thinking, is this too Monica Lewinsky?
Oh, it's funny.
So before we dive into Make Me Yours, we are going to have like a few icebreaker questions.
Okay.
So you just said that you used to be, well, you told us that you used to be a guidance counselor. What made you to decide to write books, romance books?
So I'm like in my early 50s, so I'm dating myself. When I was in high school, and I would say even back in middle school, like I fell in love with reading and I was always reading. And when I went to college, I fell in love with, or I had a friend who introduced me to historical romances. And I thought at that point I would go to law school. And so I became a history major because poli-sci was just not going to happen for me. So I actually, in my senior years, when I first started writing a romance, and back then, you know, you had to be traditionally published to be able to get anywhere. So after I graduated, there was not many jobs available for people who did not go to law school for the history major. So I waitressed, and I was already married. I married my husband when I was in college. And so I was like, I want to make a go of this. Mm-hmm. So I worked nights and I wrote during the day, and that whole starving artist thing. Mm-hmm. And I got lots of thanks, but no thanks. And I was like, after a year of living in an apartment and kind of having things on hold, I was like, you know what, I can't do this. So I went to graduate school, and I have a master's in educational psychology, and I was a high school guidance counselor for 5 years, and I had a couple kids, and I still was writing. It was like I didn't want to write, you know, I kind of wanted to be like, that is over with. We are moving forward. You know, I have a family. I have this career that I love, you know, and I couldn't let it go, you know. So when my husband got another job opportunity and we left the state and I stopped counseling, I decided this will be the time that I'm going to focus on writing. But then I had 2 more kids. So that's 4 kids and a husband who worked a lot. So I did not write a ton until my daughter went to, who's 17, she went to kindergarten. And then, you know, I had some time, and I had like saw something about Wattpad. And I was like, and ebooks were just kind of like, at least for me, I was just starting to read them on, you know, a computer, not even my phone or like a Kindle or anything like that. So it was just kind of like, well, if I can't publish myself, then I can put them on Wattpad, and I can, you know, people can still read them. And that's what I did. And after, I don't know how long I did that for, but I think I just kind of got to that point where it was like, fuck it, I'm going to like put it on Amazon, and we're going to see, we're just going to let the chips fall where they may. And that was actually a story I wrote on Wattpad that I have now since taken down because I'm really embarrassed of it. It was like no plot, just a lot of humor. So that kind of started it off. It was like, actually the book really sold well. I mean, and we were like living on one income, and when like like that first month that it was available, you know, and this was back in 2015, it was like, I think I got like $8,000 that first like month.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was like, I felt like I had like stolen money. Someone just like mistakenly dumped all this money into my account. And it was just like, wow, like I can do this. So after that, then I've been publishing regularly ever since. But you know, it's been like 10 years. It's been a journey. And I went from like knowing nothing to like I'm still learning. So it's been like a really wild ride. And I really feel like for that first 5 years, I really just like, I wrote the books. I wasn't looking at marketing. I was just writing what I wanted. I didn't really know anything about tropes. I was just like,
Yeah.
I like when they do this, you know,
Yeah.
and I had been such a reader that, you know, I think as someone who reads a lot, you just kind of know the natural progression of a story arc without like actually knowing it. And I have improved a lot on all of that, but it was like I was writing them and then I was dumping them. I wasn't marketing. I wasn't doing anything. So from where I am at that point to where I am today is like light years. So you asked a very like short question and I have given you a huge, like my whole history.
No.
That was a great story. I get what you're feeling. Like all of a sudden here's $8,000 and you're like, wait, what? What did I do?
And you know, it was like my husband was the only one working. I was home. We had 4 kids. 2 of the kids were like in travel hockey with, if you do that, you know. I was like, and I remember when it hit my account because we were on our way to pick up Girl Scout cookies for my daughter. And I was like, it was like one of those moments I will never forget, you know, because it felt really like a life-changing moment.
Right.
That's great. I love that.
So if you have any downtime, are you still able to squeeze in some reading? And if so, do you have like a go-to author or a genre that you typically read?
You know, it's so weird. Like, I think when you start writing a lot, you just don't have as much time for like reading for pleasure. Like reading is what got me through my kids like younger years. It was like a mental escape. And I mean, we were going to the library and back then I was like checking out like a bazillion books and I would come home and I feel like the more I'm writing and it's kind of like I'm trying to be in my characters' heads. And so sometimes it doesn't really like, I can't really enjoy reading something else, you know? I mean, I feel like I try to read like a couple chapters every, you know, couple days, but I just feel like I don't enjoy it as much as I used to enjoy it, you know? So that's kind of a bummer, but I'm always like picking up books and I'm always trying, but I just always feel like I'm so into my own characters right now. And I'm thinking about how like their stuff is going to go. Like I have a hard time doing it. I will say that when I do read, I do tend to pick up dark romance because I feel like it's just really like my stuff. Like I know I in your little bio, you read that I have like bully novels. I probably need to go change that. I have one bully series that I wrote during the pandemic. And honestly, I really loved it, but it's also like those aren't the kind of heroes I think I'm known for. Like I think I'm really known for like those golden retrievers and he falls first and he's doing a lot of chasing and you know, some humor sprinkled in with a little bit of angst, and the bully's like really to the other side, more of an alpha hole. And that's not, you know, honestly, after I wrote the first 2 books, I was like, I need to take a mental break because I can't write more of this. You know, I have to like write something fluffy. And it took me a while to go back and kind of finish that.
Okay. Interesting.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah. But I enjoy not pitch black. I'm not pitch black, but I enjoy a good dark romance.
But
I
that's good,
know.
like a good break if you're not writing it, and then you read
Yes,
it, you can
yes.
enjoy it.
I think, I have 3 boys and they range in age from like 28 to 19. And then my daughter is 17. And I think like when I was writing the last 2 books, because they were like a duet, like my daughter was just going into high school. And I just remember like she was cheering and I just remember staring at her out on the field and like all these boys. And I was like, yeah, I would kill someone, if they did that to my daughter. So it was like, that was when I was like, yeah, we're not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be hard. Like if especially, you write new adult kind of stories,
Yes.
that would be
Yes.
hard.
And
Like,
they were in high school and I was just like, it was actually, that was like, kind of like, I can't write this age.
yeah.
We need to move it up.
Yeah. I get that. What about your family and friends? Do they read your books and are they super supportive?
Everyone is really supportive. Like I have really never encountered anyone in my family being not supportive. And I feel very lucky about that because I hear, a lot, some authors talk about how like their husbands aren't supportive and my husband is like super supportive. He's always been, and I think like my oldest kid, he was always very proud, you know, but I think the other ones are kind of like keep it on the down low because, especially the boys and even my oldest son, he just doesn't seem to care. He doesn't care, but, I think the other ones just don't want to be teased. Oh, your mom writes, spicy romance.
Yeah.
And I'm fine with that. That doesn't hurt my feelings or anything like that because I get it, but no, my family is really great. All of them, my husband's family, my family,
Oh, good.
everyone. For a long time, I didn't talk about it. Like, I didn't, and it's my real name. Like Jennifer Sucevich is not a pen name. It's like, I think I felt like, for one thing, I never expected this to happen. So it was kind of like, and even if I had wanted to be a published author for so long, I was like, yeah, you're not taking that away from me. It's me.
Oh, I like that.
love that. It's like not a lot of I don't think a lot of romance author have, some of them don't really have, they usually use a pen name.
They do.
Yeah.
They
Especially
do.
for like dark romance, I've noticed.
Right. And I think that's why I didn't talk, like when my kids were younger, I didn't talk about it as much. Like I wasn't out there like telling my daughters like Girl Scout moms that this is what I do,
Yeah.
or her teachers or anything like that. But I think like as they've gotten older and I've gotten older, I kind of like don't care. You know what I mean? If you have a problem with what I do, like writing romance, writing about love, I think that's a problem you have,
Right,
not
right.
a problem
That's a
I
damn
have.
problem. Yeah, that's a damn problem, not our problem.
Right. I think like the older we get, it's kind of like some of that caring about what people think is like, it just kind of falls away. And it's like, I'm very unapologetic now about who I am and what I like. I think I said, I'm like 53. So it's like, I don't care.
Right. I get
I'm the
that.
same way. Like I don't really care much, like obviously I don't like, we all don't like just go out of our way to be like offensive or anything, but like
No,
as far as like,
no.
just like this is what I'm doing, like it is what it
Right.
is, kind of thing.
Right. No. And I don't find like if we go out, I'm not like talking about it, but you know what I mean? It's kind of like, there's worse things to be doing. And I love what I do. This was something I wanted to do since college, and literally for 20, like I didn't publish my first book on Amazon until I think I was 42. I think this is like my 11th year. I think so. I think, wait, no, 10 years, 10 and a half years. So it's kind of like, there was like a lot of years where I just thought, yeah, this isn't going to happen for you. You have this like desire to do it, but you apparently don't have the talent to do
Oh.
it. you know, when you're 25 years is a long time to keep at something and hope it like pans out.
Well, look at you now. You're like, 11th year and still doing it,
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. If I would say anything, it's persistence.
Okay, this will be an interesting question. If you could live in any of your books, which book or series would it be?
Okay. I'm only going to say, well, I have to
I
think
love it.
about this. I would say like the new one only because it's like professional hockey. It's
Mm,
in Chicago,
Yeah.
and I love that. And I think it's just because I spent 10 years writing like new adult in college, so I'm ready for something new. And there's a lot of angst in college, a lot of figuring yourself out.
right. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I
But
don't
I
think I'd
do
figured
feel
it
like I
out.
spent like 10 years 10 more years in college,
It's
so
good
it's
though.
kind of nice to graduate.
Yeah.
Aw, that's good.
Now
I
we're
like
like
that.
in more of like the present time, kind of like,
Yes, even then I'm way older than these guys, like the Steele and Lila from this book are like 28, so they're not so removed from college, but they are removed enough to have like professional jobs and nice places to live.
right. Yeah. They're more like almost like real world problems rather than like the petty stuff that you see in the college romances.
Right. Well, and a lot of, I think like I had like divorced parents and I was kind of in high school a gray area student, which is why I did really well with the guidance counseling.
Mm.
And so I think when I was writing books, like the college, a lot of like obviously some of it was like academically based, some of it was focused on the romance of it, but a lot of times I often had like the parents and the siblings, and something was happening that included like family, whether someone was sick or a divorce or something like that. So I usually had a lot of like that.
Mhm.
Yeah. You have you have some standalones and you have some series. How do you determine which books are going to be a series and which are going to be standalones?
So when I first started out, it like again, I knew nothing. I was
Yeah.
just writing, and I wasn't like really like those first 5 or 6 books. I didn't edit. I self edited, it was bad. And I made like my own covers, also bad. I'm not a graphic designer. So I mean, it's just like you don't know what you don't know. And so, like, I honestly felt at that point in time, I could not write. Like, I think, like, the first book, Confessions of a Heartbreaker, that was a standalone. And I think I thought about actually his best friend in there. I thought about doing like another book, like maybe making it a series. And then when I thought about it, like going into it, I was like, I feel like I've been painted into a corner. Like I have to like adhere to like the world I've already set up with. And that kind of scared me. I wasn't sure if I could do that. So I kind of I just wrote standalones. And then I wrote King of Campus, and that was like my 6th book. And again, no editing, bad cover, and it hit like the USA Today bestseller list for 2 weeks, which was amazing, but also embarrassing because I was like, this is, you're getting all this attention, and people are like, where's the editing? You know what I mean? So,
Oh, yeah.
and like, I also felt like I wasn't in a position to capitalize on that because I just didn't know what I was doing at that point. But that's the one where I was like, okay, gosh, I've got like all these people are reading this book. I did introduce some characters, but never with the intention of like going into a series with it. But I decided to because it had been so popular, and it's still to this day, like 10 years later, one of my best-selling books. It's, I have had it edited. It has a nice, beautiful cover, but, it still does really well, because I think like like some books just have that magic, and you can't like, I can't like just sit down and be like, this book is going to be a bestseller. You want that for all your books, but like sometimes like there's just like magic that happens, and King of Campus was one of those books where the magic, everything just happened. And so I did write like 3 more books in that series, but like the last book was like the third book's like sister, and doesn't even take place on the college campus. And it was just like, I'm always like, oh, it's kind of like, you know, adjacent, and everyone's like, no, it belongs there, and I'm like, whatever. If you say so. But it's like, so I think as I have grown as an author, I think honestly, maybe a couple years ago is when I really became more comfortable. I think in 2020, I think the campus series is where I was like, I am going to write a series, and it's going to be intentional, you know, whereas the other ones kind of weren't. And I wasn't thinking about like, how long is this series? Who's in this series? Like, even when I was starting, I feel like with Campus Player, I had the guys like who his roommates were, but I don't feel like I gave them their own personalities, so that, you know what I mean? I think I did it with the guy who I usually set up someone in one of the books that if I want to go and move forward with something, I have like, you know, a couple that people are like, oh, when are they coming? You know?
Yeah.
But like, as I've gone, like, and then when I wrote my next hockey series that I made part of the same world, I was actually writing book 1, and I'm like, okay, I need to stop. And I like took the day, and I was like, who are my characters? Who are the guys? Who are the girls like they're going to be paired up with? What are their backstories? Like, I'd never done that before, which seems crazy, but I was like, okay, this is going to be kind of a Romeo and Juliet thing. These guys are going to be step siblings. And so even as I started writing book 1, I had a good idea who like what their personalities were, what their backstories were. I got pictures, so I had like them I could visualize them. And that really like changed everything. Like, I knew, and I was very intentional about everything. But and that was my last series. So even when I was writing that, I kind of like, in maybe not the first book, but maybe the second book, I added like someone was putting out these mass like messages to the university at large. And then everyone's like, oh, who is it? When is he getting a book? You know what I mean? When are we going to learn who this bad person is? And I was like, well, yes. Who is it? And I really didn't even know until I wrote the last book. I was like, I'm thinking about all the people who have appeared, and it was like, okay, I think we can twist this to make this person like the guy who's been messing with this guy the entire series. So even when I've gone into like the Chicago Railers, I was like, okay, I want a thread that goes through the entire book, like the entire series, you know, kind of like, I stumbled upon that in the last one. It wasn't intentional, but now I'm really being intentional about it. So I feel like even though I've been writing for 30 years, I've been publishing for 10 years, I am still learning. And even at this point, I'm like, I have to, like, my covers. I have 3 covers. Like, I feel like if you look at like my illustrated and the discreet, they kind of go together, but the male cover does not. So my next series, I'm going to be really good about all 3 of them, or all 2 of them, or whatever I do, and make it so they all kind of match, because right now they don't. So it's like, as much as I think I know, I don't know. It's like parenting. The more you like, the longer you're in it, the more you realize you don't know what you're doing.
um, all right. So, do you typically like set a goal like at the beginning of the year? Like, do you actually like set a goal of like how many books you want to publish within that year, or it just kind of how depends on how your writing kind of goes?
I am very goal orientated. So my favorite thing is like my birthday, where I sit down and I look at what I have achieved this year and what I'm going to achieve for the next year. And then like New Year's Eve, like I love to sit down and be like, okay, here's what we did. Here's what we're going to do. But I also know like like I have gone into years thinking I would like to publish 4 books, because 3 books is about what I can handle. You know, I'm not a clean writer, so it takes me a lot of drafts to go back and so I know like 3 books is about where I'm going to go out. But this year I decided like one of the things I wanted to do was have my audio come out at the same time as my ebook and my print, which requires me to be kind of ahead of schedule. So I had more of like between, I'm trying to think if I kind of spaced out the last couple books so that there wouldn't be this gigantic space between this book and my last book, so that I would have enough time, because you have to have about a month to give, like, prep the audio, have the narrators do it, get on schedules. That is like, I'm actually scheduling out audio like into 2026. So it's like you have to, and in order to do that, you have to have like really firm dates. So I have like my books, honestly, for the next 2 years mapped out. Like I would hope that I can maybe sneak in something, you know, but I don't think so. I just, like, I'm doing more signings now, which I only started doing like 2 years ago. And that just requires like the travel and just getting things together. It just requires a little more. And I find like I can't just come back, unpack, and then be like, we're delving right in. Because like when I did come back, I went to Rare London, and I came back and it was like, I don't even remember what's going on in this story. And I had to start over from the beginning and read it. So I was really present and remembering all the details and moving through it. So that kind of put me behind a little bit, you know? So I did 4 signings this year. So I was like March, or the end of February into March. Then it was like May and June and July. And that was like really disruptive to like me just like really focusing. It's like every time I came back, I felt like, okay, now I need to go back and I kind of need to read. So I feel like the beginning of this manuscript I'm working on right now is really good. And that last part is like, dang, it's taken me some time. Because I didn't get through it as many times as I've gone back and gone through the beginning.
Right. Yeah. Well, on that note, out of all the books, which one would you say was the most difficult to write? And whether it be because it was emotional or just you just couldn't get it to the paper?
Some books, you know, I feel like there's books, and I don't know the reason for it. I think there's books that I have struggled with, and I don't know. I feel like maybe Love to Hate You I struggled with. And I love that book, and I think it's probably because for that one specifically, you know, my dad had cancer, and so he was like not doing well during that time. And I think I was mentally struggling with that. So it was really hard for me to write that book. And, but I love that book. And it's like a really funny book. It's not quite rom-com. You know, I don't really do that, but I think it has a lot of humor in it. I think like a lot of times if I have struggled, it's because maybe the story wasn't right, or I was forcing things, or like it's all like a mental game, you know? And I think if you tell yourself you're like having a hard time with it, that just reinforces that you're going to have a hard time with it. You know, I've really kind of like the last, I don't know, maybe year and a half, I've really gotten into like manifestation and meditation. And that for me has been a game changer. I feel like I'm, you know, if I think I can do it, I can do it, you know, because I can kind of look back and look at everything I have accomplished. And now it's like, of course you can do that. Look at what you have done.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and I don't want to be like, I know people struggle with, like writer's block, and I have never struggled with that. Like I have struggled with scenes. I have struggled with parts of books, but I also feel like I'm also like a workaholic. So I work like 7 days a week, and, you know, I'm working like 10 hours a day. And if I don't do that, I feel like why aren't I doing that? It's like, if you pull me away from it, then all I'm doing is thinking about it. But I also feel like if I can take that step back and I cannot do it, when I do come back to it, it's like I feel really rejuvenated.
Mm.
So that's really helpful for me, is just to take a step back, and then I can come back to something and feel like, oh good, I get to work on it again, so it's like one day at a time.
Yeah.
So this next question is my favorite question.
Should that scare me? I feel like it
No,
should.
I don't think so. I mean, might be difficult to choose, but so out of all the books you have written, if you could pick one book or series, which one would you want to see adapted as a movie or a TV show?
I think maybe King of Campus. I just feel like there's, like I said, that's one of those books where I just feel like magic happened. You know what I mean? And I think the proof of that is that it's like 10 years, 9 years, and it still really sells well. So, even though I do feel like it's probably dated a little bit, because things were different, it still just has something about it that people love still. So I feel like that one would do well. And then The Hate to Love You, simply because there's a lot of humor in there, and I love like the couple. I love their banter. So I think that would, just for the humor alone, would probably do well.
Would you have somebody in mind, like actors or and actresses that you could see playing your main characters then?
I really, this is so bad. I really, I don't, I think when I think of a guy, and I feel like I think about him in my head, like for every single hero, no matter what the description
Yeah, I do
is.
the same thing.
He is my guy, and it's like Taylor Kitsch.
Oh my God, I love him.
Why do I know
Yes,
that?
I love him. I love him.
If I ever need help, like mentally just getting it,
Yeah.
he does it for me.
Yeah, I love him. I was like, you're the first one to actually say something about him. Like usually, I
Who
feel
is
like
that?
Friday Night Lights, Tim
Tim
Riggins.
Riggins from Friday Night Lights. It was like a show, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago. And it was, I mean, it's really, even now, it's a great show, but it's still a great show.
I gotta look it up.
But only look up Tim Riggins circa.
Yeah, like 2008, around 2008, I think.
What's his name?
Taylor Kitsch.
Taylor Kitsch, but if you look up Tim Riggins.
Oh yeah, and then Tim Riggins. But I mean, that's his most notable, I guess. Like that's how he gets recognized.
I do think that's how he's like in a show now. Like it's either a movie or a show. He's
it's a TV
like in
show, like on Amazon.
I know what you mean. There he is.
No, your face was like, yeah, but no,
yes,
yeah. I mean, there's a better picture of him with that.
But this is the one that I first saw. I was like, oh,
yeah, no, he's newer ones now. He's older now.
He is, but him and Lila from like, that show is like, when I think of a couple, they are always kind of like my couple in my head. So a lot of times I will write guys who have like the blonde hair, kind of longish, he's the one that I'm thinking.
When his hair is short, he cleans up really well. Like, I think my very first introduction to him was The Covenant movie.
Oh, yes.
Love that movie.
Yes.
I wish there was a sequel. It's like,
yes.
All of a sudden, like now I see it on TikTok. I was like, oh, where's the resurgence? When it was actually came out, why is there no sequel? Now all of a sudden they're all old now. We can't have them.
Right.
No.
Like, their version now, they will be like, the main guy's dad, because he kept using his powers. He's like that's what their characters would be now.
Exactly. But he is like my go-to. I mean, I can always just write a scene with him. And just like thinking about like I loved their story and just, so it's kind of like for me, if I'm thinking about my characters as them, it just really kind of helps me get into like a flow.
Yeah, I actually get it because like when I watch Friday Night's Lights, at the beginning it wasn't them, Layla and Tim. They were, but then as you go, it's like actually they make sense.
They
Like
do, but I think she was actually cheating
I
on
know it
her
was just like
boyfriend.
it's those high schoolers. Um, who was the other girl that he was with? She was more kind of
Tyra? It
yeah, I think
was
Tyra. I
Tara,
think
something
yeah.
like that.
I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't like her character much, but she was more loyal to
Yes.
him than the
Yes.
other one.
Yes. But it's just like, I've always like loved those romances and those shows. So like I feel lucky that I get to do this because it's like I get to fall in love with each book. Maybe that's why I've been married for like 30 years. Like I get to do it on my paper.
That's true. Yeah. Well,
So I guess we have to like go back in time, make your books as a movie, and then we can get Taylor Kinch.
What I will say is that when I write like my heroes, because my husband is like, he's like, I don't even know how to describe him. Like I'm thinking like tropes like, golden retriever. And he really is. And I just feel like when I write my hero, like there's always little bits of him sprinkled in because he's like, he's a really good husband and he's a good father. And, I would hope my daughter would marry someone like him. And I would hope my sons would treat, their girlfriends and wives like, my husband has shown them how to do.
yeah.
Not the
Like,
dark romance kind.
No.
yeah.
Just kidding.
Those never work
No,
out.
There'll be a
Just
murder
kidding.
going on.
Right?
But in this book, like Steele was definitely golden retriever. However, you close that door and the dom comes out and see I don't prefer a friends to lovers and I just I don't know. I like a little
No,
fight, but this
totally agreed.
it was a perfect setup because she had I don't want to give too much away, but she had her issue in the beginning.
Yes.
He comes in and saves the day. And if he would have stayed all light and fluffy, it would have been But when he was like,
We can
turn
do this.
around,
And
bend
that
over.
was like, I am not, I have over like 35 books and there's been 2 novellas that I've written because like, for me, like you can do a little friends and lovers in a novella because it's shorter. They know each other. It's not hard to get from like friends to lovers. And then I have 2 novels and I mean it's not my preferred like trope. Like I love the hate you always and hate to love you and enemies to lovers and I love and I think because we love the banter, we love the, are they going to get along? You can feel like the chemistry, like even when they hate each other or one of them, because with me, it's always like usually he is the one who does like her and she's like, no, thank you. And so I feel like there's a lot of that push and pull and that's what we love. Right. But you don't get that with friends to lovers because they're friends. They get along, we know that. So you have to do something. And I mean, and again, it was kind of like, I was thinking like, I can't have him be all soft. I mean, that is going to be boring. And so it's like, as I like writing it, I'm thinking like, he has pined for this woman for
10
like
years.
ever, and she wants more. And that was like not something I going in was like the plan. But as I'm writing it, I'm going back and I'm like, okay, this is what's going to happen. And these are the questions that it's going to leave her with. And he is going to be perfect for that. And someone described it, and I thought it was just so funny because I had never heard of it. A golden retriever in the streets and a German shepherd in the sheets.
Yes. I love that.
I mean, After that, was it after the dinner or something like that cigar scene?
I'm trying to think. I think yes, it was when yes, it was after the dinner because
Yeah.
there was like a couple scenes that
Yeah, well,
were
I mean, before that, like during the drive, it was like, wait, like, dude, you're gonna get into an accident. But like, let's go through this, and then,
like it had to be explosive. It had to be like really like over the top without being like crazy over the top. I like to keep a little bit of the realism, you know, but not. I mean, obviously.
I mean, she was like itching for it to get it done, and he was like, "Nah, I'm gonna go drink and smoke. You're gonna give me a show, pretty much." I was
And
like,
he
"Oh,
held out. She's like, there were a few times she's like, wait, what? Like, why haven't we done
right."
it yet? And
She
he's
kept
just
like,
like,
"What are we doing?
but
I thought we're doing this."
Yeah, she
yeah,
was so confused.
I know. But he had his reason and it was smart. So, yeah.
At some point, she was just like, "Let's just do it." Like, come on, like,
That would have been like such a letdown for her if it had, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, again, I don't think like I won't. I'm actually a little surprised that again, I think I painted myself into a corner because I had Lila and Steele in the last book of my college series. So it like foreshadowed them because as I'm moving from one like new adult and college to pro hockey, I wanted to bring as many people over as I could. I didn't want to like just start out with these are characters you've never met. I wanted them to be like, oh, he's getting a story. Yay. So Lila only appears a couple times, but Steele is like, he's the cousin. So he was like really all throughout that last book.
Okay.
And as I introduced her as a friend, I mean, I could have, if I wanted to, I could have been like, they have a falling out and something happens and then they get back together and they're enemies to lovers. But I don't know. I didn't want to do that. But it was a challenge, because you have to like we talked about, there's that balance and there has to be like that chemistry, has to be explosive. And then what they're doing has to just like, if you're not having that tension from the enemies to lovers, you need to have it with something. You need to bring something else to it to make it so people are going to want to keep turning the page.
I did. I was on vacation. I was on vacation and I'm like, my husband's like, are we going to go out? I'm like, no, I'm just going to see what's going to happen.
I mean,
Do you have some bourbon and a cigar?
No, my kids were there. Sorry.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you're reading her inner monologue, she always would like after the breakup or um something like that. It she always like says like I always feel safe with him. Like I'm comfortable. He's always there for me. So it's almost like you already know that she's comfortable. So it wasn't like far fetched. It's just like throughout the years, it just never happens. And like he said, it's either she's always with a boyfriend or he didn't want to ruin it, so he didn't want to like cross that line.
Right.
But they're
Right.
so
Because if
comfortable with
she
each other.
doesn't feel that way, then that's
Right.
kind of awkward. And that really does ruin things.
So I feel like
Both
that's the
people have
perfect,
got to be into it.
right. I think that's the perfect moment. And then especially when she was like started opening up of what she wants, that's the perfect entry for him. I mean, even in his monologues, like, yeah, sure, we'll just say that it's just for now.
Yes.
But not really. It's gonna be
He
forever. She
was
just
going to
doesn't
say
know.
whatever he had
Yeah.
to get her.
Right. Right. I mean, I think the moment that he said like, that interview where he literally put his heart out there, she was just like, is it for show or for like because and I think at that point she's already like having feelings for him, but it's just like she doesn't know either what's happening and all that stuff. So.
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, it felt like to go into a new series, it felt like really risky because like you said, it's not like some people really love it, but I think most people really gravitate to like hate to love you and the enemies to lovers. So I think it felt a little risky, by not doing something that I know like people would be like, ooh, those are all the tropes I love.
Right. But I think too, so it's a good start for a series because then you see all the other side characters that are more the I don't really like you, stop talking to me kind of
Yes,
characters.
yes.
So is
Because
there
I
you
have to. I mean,
yeah.
that is my
So
favorite,
you're
and
kind of
I
like
love,
yeah.
yeah, I love when, especially like when the guy is interested and she's like, absolutely not. But again, like I was trying to be like more thoughtful in how I was writing this. And so it's kind of like, a lot of times when I've done my other series, it's like maybe I did introduce a girl or two, but not more. Do you know what I mean? Like a whole girl gang. And the same, I think actually I do kind of, the guys, because it's always like revolves around a team. So I do introduce them, but I took more care to like really kind of set up relationships, so like readers would have like a general sense of who these guys are and like what's the dynamic. So again, I am learning. I'm trying to be better.
So, for any new readers that might be listening, do you generally recommend a reading order, or like with this particular series, they can just jump right in?
I really don't like, I have a couple duets, but I mean, they're older and I really don't advertise them or anything like that. So, I would say like all of my books are standalones in that like you can pick it up and you can read about the couple and then maybe you're interested in some of the other couples that are in there. So I don't think like you have to go to book one to be able to enjoy my books. I know that a lot of people really like to do it that way so that they don't ruin anything. Although my thought on that is we all know they're going to have their HEAs.
Right.
Yeah,
It's how they
yeah.
get there.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
I would say you can really pick up, like I have football and I have hockey and now I'm starting professional hockey. So I think if you like football, King of Campus is always a good one to start with. I do have a couple standalones and like 4 of them. And I think those are like a good place. You can start with those as well to kind of see, do you like my style of writing? Does it appeal? So yeah, but I think like at 35 books, it's daunting. No one's like, oh God, this is going to take me forever. Someone who is a new to me reader was like, I'm going to like start with I'm going to delve into your backlist. And it's like, well, good luck with that. I'll see you next year.
Yeah, next year 30 bucks or 35, right?
You let me know when you finish that.
um how many books are planned? I know there's already 2 that are up on pre-order, I guess, for Chicago Railers. How many books are planned in that series?
Planning 6 books. And it's like really hard to like, because had this like, I don't think this flopped. I think, I was pretty good about, promoting it. And I tried like to, write, like, I love tropes, even before I realized what tropes were. I know I'm a tropey author. And I think like maybe there's other authors who are like, oh, I hate tropes. I hate having to follow, like that, like the plan of it or whatever, I love it. It's like the more tropes that make sense, I like it. And so, but I mean, this book could have gone and just flopped, and it would have been like, okay, do I do book 2 or do I pivot? And so I think at this point it will be 6 books. That is my plan. I have 6 guys that I've kind of introduced. And I have less than 2 weeks to get book 2 done so I can get it edited and then get it to the narrators so that it comes out in November with the ebook and the print. And so yeah, I think this is, I'm really happy with how it's done, and I really love the characters. So I'm hoping for 6 books. And then I have the Evelyn and Hugh
Oh, you
storyline.
do?
That is like what is woven through all 6 books. And I'm not sure. And again, I didn't know how that would hit. Like, would people kind of get to it and be like, what's this? Like, why is this here? Or would they like it? You know? And the response has been really good. So
Yeah, I
I
need
only
to
have
know.
one reader who was like, no, I don't want Hugh and Evelyn together. He's terrible. You need to find her someone else. And it's like, well, that's not happening.
But we didn't really like get much. Like, I mean, it's kind of hinted that something happened between now and in the past, but not like told where like what did he really do. Like even when we get Evelyn's point of view, it wasn't like really.
No. And there's
You're just like,
Didn't he marry someone?
yes, her best friend.
That's what it was. Yes.
And I
couldn't
think that's why
remember
the
if it was
reader was like,
sister.
no.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gotta be like a reason of what happened. We'll figure it out.
Honestly, when I got that letter, because everyone else, I have gotten lots of emails, about them. Like, is there a book for them? Is it out now? And it's like, no, you're going to get little pieces like throughout the actual book. You saw them together, saw their interactions, and then you got like one POV chapter for each of them. And that is the plan throughout this. But when they said that, I just have to plug in here. When they said that, I started thinking, well, I need to have a really good reason why.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, you do.
you can tell like the tension. I mean, even on that point of view for Evelyn is like when he was just like, cancel your plans, and she's like,
Yes.
I will. Like,
Yes.
you go.
Yes. But
No.
I really enjoyed writing that because like they're even older, like they're in their 40s to 50s. So it was just kind of nice, not to write a story about someone who's even older than like the characters that I'm focused on now. So I liked it. And I just have to, I actually probably need to really think hard about their stories and stop. Even this book, I'm like, what does happen?
Oh, I'm excited for the next one. It's their, I mean, their banter, in book one. It's just like she's just like tight lip, one word, or just cuts him off, and he was just like, oh, get to see you later. Like just
Obviously, like that's like hurt comfort. And, he's like always been in love with her, and she was really hurt. So I that story is like, I'm going through it. Like I said, I have 2 weeks left to edit it, and right now I'm really happy with like where they're like how they get together. And it's like, I've also never written like a child in a book, like I've never had like someone be a parent. So this is my first single parent book. And it's just really after 10 years of like the college. And will I go back to college? Probably, maybe. I can't see like I wouldn't go and maybe add like a book or two somewhere. But it's really like nice to step into something different with older characters. And one of like the goalie, like he's like in his 30s, like 33 is where I'm picturing him, so he's even older than the other ones. So it's just kind of nice to do like something different, and different tropes. Like that one's going to be a nanny trope. I think we all saw that coming. So.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back to new adult, you can always do a second generation.
Yeah.
We already have kids coming out, like already. There's already kids. So
No, it's been, and I like, again, like I have the campus series, which is football, college football. And because I really loved that world, I then did the Western Wildcats, which was, it takes place at the same university. It's just with the hockey players. And then I had, um, couples from the campus series would make appearances in those books, And so with the Chicago Railers, what I thought about is like, I want to have characters who are already kind of known from my other books, like they didn't get their story. So, they're here. So like River, in Western Wildcats, the fifth book is Mine to Take, and that's Willow and Maverick's story. And River is actually Willow's twin sister. So reader, if you have been a reader of mine, you met River in college. So now, and readers have loved that, that he's getting his story, that it's an older story. Mm-hmm. So it's just kind of fun. So I have like a couple characters that you will see who you, like, if you've been a reader of mine, are kind of like fun because they're making appearances. But if you're not a reader of mine, it's still like you're not missing anything. Yeah, sure. So it's like this balance. I don't want people to be like jumping in and being like who are all these people and what are their connections, And I think sometimes what one of my editors has said is that like I focus too much on the couple, like that I sometimes like they're like, you need to bring some friends in here. It's too couple centric. But to me, it's like when you have the romance, that's what I'm mostly interested in, is like how these people are getting together.
Just to clarify, the Hold Me Tight, which is River and Callie's story, you said that comes out November?
So I my releases are like Mardi Gras. They last a couple weeks, and I release on my store first, my Shopify store. And so they will come out like October 23rd, I think. And then when I started, I was a wide author, and I was wide for most of my career up until about 2 years ago, when I moved a lot of my stuff into Kindle Unlimited. So because I feel like I do have like a wide audience, I do then put it on Apple and Google and Barnes and Noble and Kobo, and I leave that there. And so then right a couple days before it goes live on Amazon, which is November 6th, I think that is the date for them, I take it off. So, and then it just then we've got the release week on Amazon. So by the time we're done, I'm exhausted because I'm like pushing for like 3 weeks.
It's been like a 3-week release.
It has. I'm like, maybe I should make things easier on myself and just like do it on my store. In fact, I didn't even have Hold Me Tight on like the wide vendors because I wasn't sure what I was going to do. Was I just going to put it on my store, and if people want to grab it from my store, they can grab it from my store, and then it will go into Kindle Unlimited. But I guess I decided like last night that we're going to do it again, and we'll see what happens. If no one is buying on those vendors, then that's my decision. But for right now, I'm going to continue to do that.
Okay. I don't know if you'll be able to answer this question or not, but would you be able to tell us who the couple is for Show Me Forever?
Show Me Forever is right now, I want it should be Rena and Oliver.
That's what I thought. I was like, there's something going on with Rena and Oliver.
Yeah. Yes, there is.
Rena's just like, get away from me. I'm tired of you.
Yeah. I love, again, it's like you write a character and you want to write them a certain way, but sometimes they just have their own personalities, which sounds strange because you're the one creating it, but they still, and I really love Rena's. I love how strong she is and how she doesn't take any crap, and it'll be interesting because when I first was starting to think about them, like Knox, his brother is in the series, The Western Wildcats. So even though Knox never made an appearance or anything like that, his brother Colby was, you know, and he was like funny. And so in my mind, I wanted Knox to be kind of the same. And as I was writing the story, I was thinking Knox and Rena will be my pair. And then as I got through most of it, I realized Oliver was the one who was with her.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn it. And I'm like, I can just go and change the name. And it's like, I couldn't. Like, it just didn't feel right. It was like Oliver and Rena have to be together. I don't know what's happening with Knox now, but although now I do have an idea, and I have like one scene in my head, and like the whole book is like, it's this one scene that I see playing out. So I am actually really excited to do his book, but I'm excited to do Oliver and Rena because I think like they will be a lot of sparks. And
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can already tell she's just not, or like, you know, you kind of get the feeling it's just like she's just like, nope, nope, don't even like say anything about it. Like, okay, question, interesting. Sloane, will she have her own
yes.
story? Okay.
Yes, and I kind of like paired her up with Jax. Now, whether that like continues, I mean, I see her being either the 6th book or the 5th book. I'm not sure where Knox is going to. Lakin will be the 4th book, and I don't have him up on pre-order yet, but like that I do know. Like those 4 books, I kind of have like, because it's possible. I haven't like totally thought about it yet. I might have like Oliver's sister be, you know, because it'll be like an age gap. Like now that I can do all this age gap and nanny and single parent, I am all in.
Yeah, we can do with their age. We can do that. Those now.
Yes. Yeah, it doesn't work when they're in college.
Yeah,
So
not quite. They have to be like all in college, even though there's kind of like an age difference, but not like super age difference. Oh no, you're fine. Yeah, no, it's like because it was interesting with when Jax is like trying to talk to Sloane, and Sloane's like, nope, busy, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Well, and I have like in my mind for Sloane, you know, she's taking care of her sister and brother. She doesn't have a lot of money. She's not interested in screwing around or being, you know what I mean? She's focused on going to school and making a better life for her siblings. So marriage of convenience,
There you
it's
go.
a possibility.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. It's just
loving it all.
No. You're welcome, listeners.
Yeah.
We're like plotting over here.
It's like, what else can I do? I have all these amazing tropes that I've never done before. Are we going to Vegas and getting married? It's a possibility.
They could. I mean, they could afford enough to get on a private plane and just like jet set and then come back.
They could be playing a hockey game in Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. This is not the. Yeah, go ahead. You should do this question.
Oh, because you always get it, right?
Yeah, I always get it. It's your turn to like get it.
Okay. This is like asking you who your favorite child is, but who is your favorite couple? Who is your favorite now? And separate from that, do you have a separate favorite male character and female character?
You're right. It is like choosing between children if you had 30 some children. So it's so funny because sometimes like I go back, like maybe I'm trying to think about something that happened in a different book and I just want to go back and like reread part of it. And I find like that I get sucked in and I'm like, do you know what I mean? And then I'm like, when I read it, I'm like, I love them so much, you know? And that is like my problem. I feel like when I start reading them, like I really do like my characters. I try to make my characters likable, and that's really hard. I mean, I really did love King of Campus. I loved Roan and I loved Ivy, because Ivy was like really like not tough, but like, you know, she just wasn't going to put up with, you know, this stuff, and she didn't like football players at all. So it was just kind of like, and then to see them come together and fall in love and, you know, make sacrifices for each other. So, and I think like that they just, again, just had something special. So I think they would be one of my favorite couples,
Okay.
Ivy and Roan from King of Campus. But I also really feel like I loved like Natalie and Brody from Hate to Love You.
Oh,
Yeah, they were like, I think like when I can make a male character kind of like golden retriever, definitely, but he's funny, like, because personally for me, like, that gets me. Like, that is my, like, if someone can make me laugh, you got me. And so when I can just write someone who's funny, you know, a little self-depreciating, but is kind of cocky and, you know, just loves to like really kind of poke and tease at the female, then, you know, I just love that kind of dynamic. So those two, and they definitely do that. I really do love Steele and Lila, just because I loved how much he loved her. So, and I think I just wrote them. So it's like, you know, like I just really loved both of them together. And I'm trying to think like if I have someone single like that I like, maybe Daisy from Love to Hate You, just because she was so like funny, and you know, she also wasn't going to take any like guff, you know. I think I like a girl who can put someone in their place. Sometimes when I'm writing this, I'm like, treat them mean, keep them keen.
um okay, so for like if you get like new readers and they ask you this, what 3 words would you describe your books?
um 3 words to describe my books. I think like I try to put some like humor, but not rom-com-y humor, but you know, sexy, um, humorous, and I always like, there is 3 words that I like sometimes when I'm trying, like I have, it's almost like a little catchphrase, and now I am blanking on them. Sexy, um, I don't know. I feel like I'm like malfunctioning right now. They're like,
Okay.
it's just a word. Come up with a word. You're a wordsmith, right? An author. Come up with one.
yeah.
Um,
It's a little bit of angst.
yeah. I think I have a little bit of angst. It's not over the top angst, and you know, probably a little angsty, a little humorous, and sexy. I think those would probably describe my books.
Yeah.
Okay.
Those are good ones.
So we talked about a lot of the future stuff that's coming out in the near future. Are there any other projects you have coming out that you can talk about?
I am really just focused on the Railers series right now. I I am not like someone who can like be writing a couple different books. In fact, I actually was thinking, I was like, oh, I should put out a Christmas novel. And I'm gonna finish this book like last weekend, so that I'd have some time and I would really just go into it. And it was like, I can't. I tried to actually like draft something out, and it was like, I can't. When I'm writing one thing, I am writing one thing. I really I wish I could multitask like that, but I can't. It's like I'm living in one life. I can't I can't do anything else. So no, it's like I have the Railers series kind of planned out for this year and next year, because I'm about 3 books a year, and this is 6 books. So I think this will take me maybe into the first like the first maybe couple months of 27, I think, when I looked at my calendar, which seems crazy, that I'm like planning it out this much. But like my last series had 7 books, and I think maybe 6 books would have been like a sweet spot, so we'll see. Like, I don't think I could stay in a world for like, some people have like 20 books, in one world. That is like, I don't have the attention span for that. It's like starting something new is scary because you don't know, like, are people going to read it? People become very invested in series. But I think, like, spending 2 years in one thing, I think I love starting something new. I think that's why I liked doing standalones, is because I got to create something new every time. Although, now that I've gotten kind of like more comfortable with series, I do like, because you have the world created, you have the players created. So as long as you know them, which now I do, it's more comfortable to write in, and it's easier to write in because you don't have to create everything from scratch. But I honestly don't know what, like, I've been really sports romance since I started, and I have done the bully, like the dark sports romance, but it was still sports romance, and I think I actually did do, like, I started, it was kind of mafia-ish, but it was like mafia light, it was like, and it just, like, because at that point I felt like, oh, whatever I do, people will read. Well, that is not the case. It did not do well. So I've kind of learned to stay in my lane, but I will say, the Cowboys are calling me. In my head, I was making myself feel better. I was like, if this doesn't work, I will go and maybe do Cowboys. Because that is like such a big thing, right now. And I mean, I get it. I see the appeal. I could maybe do a small town cowboy.
Right. I feel like it made more impact as far as Cowboys. It's kind of like what Yellowstone, the TV series, kind of got more popular. Um, then it's just like a lot more.
Than just cowboys, but like dark Western,
Yeah.
has really become like a thing.
Right.
Hmm.
Which I never thought about it. It's like, um, do you have any special editions coming out, or is it just like
So like the book special editions, I have started, like, within the last year or so, I have started doing special editions. So I have like a couple of them, and then I'm doing like one for, and again, it's like, I did them through Influence. The first couple ones I did through Influence, and they're beautiful. They turned out beautiful. And now I'm trying to look at like printers here and see what I can do. And I did do, like, because I have 3 covers, I'm trying to be more intentional about things. So I do have, like, I don't know if you can really see that.
I love
Is
that.
that on
Yeah,
your
so
website?
it is. So this is the illustrated, and it has the foil, and it has, like, I'm trying to sprayed edges, and then I always do like custom interiors just because I love it, So I have that, and now I'm waiting for a paperback of the discreet version. So that is like what I'm trying to do. And then when I did arcs, because again, I've done the e-arcs, but I had never done paperback arcs. And so that was something new I did. And I did foil on the covers of the mail. I mean, and it turned out like gorgeous. It
It
was,
was gorgeous. I was like texting her, "Hey, did you see those?" And she's like, "Wait, there was a paperback arc." I was like, "Yes."
yes, and it was the mail cover. So, it was kind of like different, and they turned out beautifully. They didn't have sprayed edges or anything like that, and it had like the big arc, thing across across it, but it was really, really, really pretty. So I think like maybe I will continue to do that, like do the paperbacks and have the arc, so it's, you know, kind of special. And I have had people ask, are you gonna do that for like the regular mail, you know, cover? Will you do like the foil? And I really feel like I want to leave, like I only like made 75 of them, and so I just feel like it's really special, like for the arc version, if those stay like that. And so like the one I showed you, the illustrated, that is hardcover, and then what I'm doing for the discreet is like paperback, so that there's like some different options, and then it has like this really pretty sprayed edge on it. So I'm waiting. Some things got messed up at the printer, and it's like, okay, I just want this to work. Because I feel like if I start it, you know, readers would be kind of angry with me if I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I'm going to do something different now.
So you would
like,
continue the illustrated. Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yes, definitely. I think they turned out really well. I love them. And I actually have the covers. Like I worked with an artist, and I have like, I've never done that before, where I have like the illustrated cover already for all 6 of the books. So
that's perfect.
yeah, it's weird. Because I'm like, I don't want to, like, I don't believe in jinx now anymore. You know what I mean? But I'm like, I already got them, but then I'll use them for something else, you know, because it's just like, you can always put, they don't have the name on it or anything. It's just like the artwork for each couple. So it's kind of fun to see like the couples already like in art form. And let me see if I have it like right here. If you can see that, are you able?
Yes. Oh my God. That was perfect.
Perfect.
Yes, that's perfect. Is that on your website too? It's not. It's like now I just shopping.
You know what? Well, I'm waiting. So like I have like obviously the cover art, and then I have like I always do like it's not safe for work, but I would say like it's not like, I always try to have things covered so it's not like really not safe. So yes, I have candles that I made because I love, like, I really love, I always put together boxes and stuff that I sell on my website. And I do have like I have candles, and it looks like the discreet book cover. And so I'm waiting for these discreet books to get here before I kind of put like the box together.
Something to look forward to. A box.
Yes, yes. So, but that's like one of my favorite things to do is like all the merch that comes with like the books and the artwork. I mean, I really do love that part of it.
I mean, that artwork, that art scene is perfect. I think that's so like, Colleen and I were like, when I said it's like finished, and it's just like the cigar scene. I was like, yes, that's a very memorable scene.
And you know what? I had a beta reader who was like, if you're going to do like a not safe for work scene, it has to be that one. And I don't even know if I had thought about it. Like, you know what I mean? It was like, it's like sometimes I feel like you're so in it, you can't like, you need to take a step back and think. And I don't even know what other scene I would have done, but I was like, once she said that, I was like, of course I am. That's like a good one.
Perfect.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Well, last question. We talked a little bit about it, about book signings. What if you have any left this year, or what do you have coming up in 2026?
I am going next month to Violet Crown in Austin, Texas. Okay. So I will be signing there. And then I have a break until March, and I'm doing Holidays with the Bells. Okay. And that is in Dallas. I think it's in Dallas. I don't think it's in Houston. I'm pretty sure it's in Dallas. And so that's in March. What else am I doing? I have I'm doing Wild and Windy again in Chicago. I live in the Detroit area, so if I can drive to a book signing, I am all for it. Because I feel like it's like, as much as I love the merch, because I love to bring everything with me, and when I go on a plane, then I have to pick and choose, and I just I have this massive banner I had made. It's like if you go and look at my the Jennifer Sucevich book Boyfriends, there's like a guy who's kind of on one part of it, and I was like, can you make me a banner with him on it? So it's like, I was looking at a picture from Wild and Windy, and I was kind of like a couple rows back, and like of the author who was like posing in front of her own thing, and my big banner with the half-naked guy is like there. I'm like, look, Claudia, see, no one misses me. No one is putting baby in a corner. So I have my husband comes with me. He's like my support human. So he like banters with everyone while I'm signing the books, and he puts on he's very handy, and he has made me like my own traveling round table, and he has put bookshelves. So I have if you see me at a signing, I have got all the stuff with me. So I did Indiana because that's drivable, and Kentucky is drivable. So I think I'm doing one in Ohio, but it hasn't been announced yet. So I don't want to say what it is, but find me in Ohio and I'll have all the stuff with me. And I'm doing one in Minnesota, again, with the bells. I think it's North Star, something like that. And that is in Minneapolis, and that is in June. So, and I think I'm doing another rare one. I don't want to say which one, but I will be international as well.
Fun.
Yeah, awesome. I think I've got 5 of them, and I was going to do another one, and I was like, I can't. I can't. I want to, but I can't.
Otherwise, no book is gonna be written, and then we'll be like, "Where's the books?"
Exactly, and I kind of got smarter as I was looking at the schedule, and I'm like, okay, if I'm going to a signing this week, then I have to kind of block off almost 10 days, because it takes time to get ready and pack everything up, and then, you've got the signing, and then when you get back, it's like you kind of have to unload everything, and then you kind of have to take a couple days to kind of decompress. So it's like when I have in the summer, when there is more signings, it's like I have stretched out how long it's going to take me to write this book. And it's like, I have to be a little more, I don't want to take 4 to 5 months to write a book, So maybe I'll cut back. It's kind of like you get FOMO. You're like, oh, I'll apply for that. I'll apply for that.
Yeah.
And I really do love them. I mean, it is really fun to talk to people, and I saw someone in Wild and Windy, and then I saw her again in Indianapolis, and then I was actually on a podcast with her, and I didn't even realize. It was like, you look really familiar to me. She was like, we met. I was like, yes. So it's just kind of nice to make those connections in real life, So I enjoy them, but it's like they do take a lot, and I, especially when I went to Kentucky, it was kind of like it was my daughter's homecoming, and I missed that. So it's just yeah, I just she's a senior this year, so I think things will actually be a little bit easier when all the kids are out of the house. She's the last one.
Yeah. Well, it happens. I know, and then you have to pack all the books and ship them and everything. It's a lot, so I get it.
It is a lot, I mean, they are really fun, and and exhausting. And I'm sure there's exhausting for the readers as they are, you know what I mean, to be on both sides, because it's a lot of people.
Right.
It's like, it feels, there's always like this sense, like, especially for readers, that they're rushing to make sure they get their pre-orders and they get to see all the authors that they want to see. So yeah, but I mean, they're fun.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. We had so much fun. I love your energy, love your book. So it was fun to talk about it, and we appreciate you being here.
Oh, thank you. I love meeting you guys, and give me your addresses and I will send you some of the work. I will send you some of the art.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sold. Well, that's it for today's episode, everyone. Be sure to follow us on our socials and be sure to subscribe to our podcast so you don't miss out on any of our episodes. If you have any authors or topics you'd like us to discuss, you can send us a DM on our Instagram page at Unfiltered Romance Nights. Well, that's all. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.